No, because,
Uh-huh.
Or it's okay.
Thank you.
He-
Good.
He dismissed.
This is a special joint meeting of the San Francisco Recreation and Park Commission and the San Francisco Planning Commission. Would the secretaries please call the roll?
Commissioner Beal?
Here.
Commissioner Lowe?
Here.
Commissioner Bonilla?
Here.
Commissioner Harrison?
Here.
Commissioner Levitin?
Here.
Commissioner McDonald?
Here.
And Planning Commission President Fong.
Here.
Commission Vice President Wu.
Here.
Commissioner Antonini.
Present.
Commissioner Moore. And we do expect Commissioner Richards to be late and Commissioners Hillis and Johnson to be absent.
Let me begin before our secretary says anything to welcome the Planning Commission here and the President, Commissioner Fong. Nice to see you, and welcome to the Recreation and Park humble abode.
We welcome everyone here today, and just as a reminder, we ask that you please turn off electronic devices that may sound off during these proceedings. We would also ask that you take any secondary conversations outside in order for the meeting to proceed as efficiently as possible. If you would like to speak on any items today, please complete a blue card. Each person will have 3 minutes for public comment on the item being heard today. And last, please address your comments to the commissioners during public comment on this item. In order to allow equal time for all, neither the commissioners nor staff will respond to any questions during public comment. The commissioners may ask questions of staff after public comment is closed. Today, there is one item before us. It is listed as number 2 on the Recreation and Park Commission agenda and item 1 on the Planning Commission agenda. That item is the Downtown Park Fund allocation, Union Square ADA Accessibility Improvement Project. Discussion and possible joint action to authorize allocation of up to $1,375,000 from the Downtown Park Fund for the Union Square ADA Accessibility Improvement Project to remove barriers and enhance access to Union Square Plaza, including $524,000 for remediation work resulting from a 2009 settlement agreement and $851,000 for additional accessibility enhancements pursuant to Planning Code Section 412.5.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Sue Exline with the Planning Department staff. So the Planning Commissioners have before them a proposed resolution that would allocate $1,375,000 from the Downtown Park Fund for the Americans with Disability Act accessibility improvements for Union Square. The Downtown Park Fund was created in 1985 to fund the creation of park and open spaces for the growing downtown population, daytime population, and per Planning Code Section 412.5, it requires a joint hearing of the Recreation and Park Commission and the Planning Commission to allocate this funding. Staff from the Recreation and Park Department will now present on what the project that the money is going to fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Joy Pierce. I'm a new planner at the Recreation and Parks Department. And I'm here with my colleagues to discuss this project, including Paulina Araica, who is the project manager on the ADA Improvement Project. So we're here to discuss the allocation of $1.3 million from the Downtown Park Fund for ADA improvements in Union Square. And there is a presentation. I don't entirely know how to make it.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, you do.
Magic. So the project is broken into 2 parts, and I want to explain how we got there. There was a lawsuit in 2009 that was settled in 2009 that identified specific barriers for remediation. And separately but concurrently, the Mayor's Office on Disability identified other potential barriers to be corrected in order to be fully compliant with ADA. The projects were intended to occur concurrently, but the funding did not come together in order to make that happen. But we did decide to keep the phases separate, the projects separate, in order to have a clear record that the settlement work was done. So as has already been explained multiple times, the cost of the 2 phases for the combined ADA improvement project include $524,000 for the settlement work, which was remediate specific barriers identified in the lawsuit, and $851,000 for the enhancement work. These are the amounts funded by the Downtown Park Fund. There are other components to the enhancement scope that are funded by other resources. Use of the Downtown Park Fund requires approval by the Joint Commission, and so we are here today to ask for that approval. And just to give you an update on the current balance of the Downtown Park Fund, it's $3.1 million. That's an update from what was included in the staff report. So I'll go into a little more detail about the components of the specific phases of the project, starting with the Phase 1 settlement work, which was completed in 2013. This included lowering the grade of 3 pedestrian access ramps, modifying the Geary Street entrance, and improved directional signage, among other things. It's illustrated on this sheet, and which was included in your packet. And if you have more questions about those details, we'd be happy to answer them. We were unable to do the work simultaneously for the enhancement and settlement. We started with the settlement component because of the importance of addressing the legal requirements. Because the cost of the contract for the settlement work was lower than the threshold requiring commission approval, Rec and Park Commission approval, we didn't come to the Rec and Park Commission for that approval, which would have been when we would have come to the Joint Commission for approval on the overall use of the Downtown Park Fund. And so that's how we missed a step in the process, which we are correcting today. So the enhancement project includes an edge protection at the stage in Union Square, infilling some concrete steps between the stage, the main plaza area going down towards Geary, improved lighting, and addition of handrails. This project should take approximately 8 months to complete and is on hold until the decision today. So I'm available to answer any questions as well as my colleagues. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this item? Being none, public comment is closed.
Comments, questions, concerns? Commissioner Antonini.
Thank you. I just wondered, I forget how long ago Union Square was completed this time around. I'm guessing around 15 years ago. You guys know when that was. But well into the era where we were cognizant of accessibility issues. So I'm just curious why the ramps weren't at the right grade when they were done the first time, and that's my first question. My second question is, I assume this is all being coordinated with the central subway entrance, which is going to occur because we want to make sure that we don't finish one project and find out another one is not compliant. So I just need answers to those two questions if possible.
Start answering, and Paulina may help me because she has a little more detail. In terms of the first question, as I understand it, when the project was completed in 2002, there were just minor errors in implementation between the design and the implementation that put the outcome just slightly out of ADA compliance. And we just didn't leave ourselves enough margin of error to achieve it exactly on target. And so that's what happened with that one. And in terms of the Central Subway project, it's not up anymore, but on the enhancement work, there is a little fuzzy gray box in the lower right corner. That is an area where the Central Subway will be sort of affecting this vicinity and is going to be coordinated with that project. And Paulina may want to add to that.
Good morning, Commissioner. It's Paulina Raica, Rec and Park Project Manager. The question about the ramps, the 3 ramps that were remediated during the Phase 1, the settlement work, they had running slopes and cross slopes that were maybe less than 1% difference in, on the required slopes that to be compliant. So at the time of 2002 and Mayor's Office on Disability, this was a question that we made Rec and Park, why this was not fixed at the time of the 2002. Basically, they were so minor that we thought that it could pass, and basically it was not part of the punch list of that project. So, but it came the lawsuit in 2009, and the Union Square was checked with the scrutiny, and this is the result of the need to be able to fix these 3 ramps.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I've dealt with these issues. I know it's not practicality, but technicality oftentimes, and so that's just, it's the letter of the law, and it's like,
Yes.
you got to dot every I and cross every T. And then on the other issue, just making sure there isn't, try to think about any possible thing that could be thought of by the accessibility community in regards to moving from the plaza to the access to the light rail system.
Yeah, I like to say that's why when the settlement agreement scope of work was defined and budget was identified for it, the Mayor's Office of Disability strengthened to us that we needed to do all the other work that was already known to us through complaints or to inspections that they have done.
Thank you.
And this is the scope of the enhancement
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you. Commissioner Wu.
Thanks. Thank you. So I'm supportive of the allocation, but clearly it would have been better if it had come in 2011. I wanted to confirm with staff that the $3.1 million that's left, that's after allocating the funds for this project, right? Even still, though, this project accounts for 1/3 then of the total funds, and so I just think it would be helpful for future hearings to think about the ROSE element or other either planning or rec park policies and how we sort of weigh different projects within the downtown funds.
Thank you. Commissioner Moore.
Since this is one of the most frequented parts of our city, it's basically the heart of downtown, I regret that we didn't get it quite right at that time. I think we were still trying to find our way in the interpretation of ADA, but since it is really not quite as empirical as we might be able to discern an 1/8 of an inch difference and rise of a step, I think for people who are challenged in accessibility, the letter of the law is the only way to make it happen. And I would be so delighted seeing this project implemented. Particularly, it makes our own commitment to the issue of ADA visible right in the middle of the city. What I'm glad about is that we did not make a fatal flaw in the original setting of the revitalization of Union Square, because if it would be very costly, I think we would be kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. So even while it's expensive, I just believe this is the time to get it done.
Thank you. Any other questions by either commission member? Hearing none, I would entertain first a motion from the Recreation and Park Department.
So moved.
On the resolution, yeah.
Yes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. So moved. Mr. Chair.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Excuse me, I apologize. As the chair of
I'm
the
sorry.
Planning Commission, you're not
make
allowed
motion?
to make motion.
I'll make.
Disqualified.
I'll move to recommend approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. I'm going to be the president of the Planning Commission just for a few minutes. Anyway. Now it gives me great privilege to adjourn this meeting.
That was a tough one.
So can we get a motion to adjourn item number 3 on the calendar?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I mean, aye.